Reeves Immigration Law Group now brings you immigration law on your side.
Magandang gabi mga kababayan and welcome to an exciting episode of Immigration Law on Your Side. Ngayong Wednesday from Las Vegas, kaming dalawa ngayon ni Attorney Diza. Before I give you a preview of the topic today, I'm just so excited to show you that Attorney Diza is right here with me at the studio after almost a year. Magandang gabi sa iyo, Attorney.
Magandang gabi, Kuya Yo. At finally, nakita rin tayo in person at magkakapag-broadcast tayo, no? Tayong dalawa dito sa radio, no? At I'm glad to be back at hopefully ganun din sa mga viewers and listeners natin, ano? At lalo na yun nandito sa US at sana nagkaroon na po kayo ng vaccination or nagkaroon na kayo ng mga schedule. So hopefully we're going back to normal, ano, Kuya Yo, at lahat tayo ay masaya makabalik sa normal.
Mga kaibigan, pagdating ni Attorney ngayon dito sa station, nakita niya may mga nakapila sa labas. Sabi niya, sino kaya pinipilahan ito? Sabi ko, ikaw. Kasi babalik ka dito sa radio station ngayon. Anyway, welcome back to PHLV Radio, Attorney. Welcome to Las Vegas once again.
It's a pleasure to be here always, Kuya Yo.
All right. So let's get down to business, Attorney. Mga kababayan, tayo po ay matagal nang hindi nakakapagbiyahe. And for most of us, we're just really waiting for that chance na makapagbiyahe. Buti pa si Attorney nakapagbiyahe na from San Francisco, nandito sa Las Vegas. Pero siguro tayo susunod na. And kayo mga kababayan, if you're out of the country right now and you're on a green card or you're a lawful permanent resident, ako, medyo kailangan yung mapakinggan ang episode natin ngayong gabi because we are talking about returning resident visas. And we have some other updates as well. So dyan lang po kayo. Tutok lamang po kayo mga kaibigan. Alam niyo mga kaibigan, for lawful permanent residents o yung may mga hawak po ng green cards who have been outside of the United States for quite some time, like an extended period of time. Tatanong natin kay Attorney kung gaano kahaba yun. Returning to the United States may not be as simple as flashing your green card at the port of entry. Baka mamaya meron na kayong mga na-violate na mga timelines and baka mamaya kuhanin yung inyong green card. Well, there might be a solution to this. It's called the Returning Resident Visa or the SB1 Visa. Kaya nandito si Attorney Diza sa atin ngayon para po naman ipaliwanag sa atin ang Returning Resident Visa. Attorney, ano po ito SB1 Visa?
Yes, Kuya Yo, very timely ang ating discussion as discussion natin sa returning resident, parang ako returning to Las Vegas and appear in person dito sa PHLV Radio, ano? At pangalawa, marami sa ating mga kababayan ang na-stuck ho sa Pilipinas at hindi makabalik dahil hindi sa kanilang kagustuhan kundi dahil sa sitwasyon, no? Lalo ngayong worldwide pandemic where nagkaroon po tayo ng stay at home order dito sa US at the same time may mga quarantine din po sa Pilipinas na mahirap pong makaalis at hindi po kayo makapag-book ng flight or sila naman po ay nakapag-book ng flight ay naka-cancel. And then only to realize, Kuya Yo, na more than 1 year na pala sila dito. So ang ating topic ngayon na returning resident visa is very timely. Ito, as the term it connotes, ito ay a very unique kind of visa, no? At ito ay para sa mga green card holder that they have to establish that they are a lawful permanent resident of the United States. And because of their extended stay outside the US, for example, sa Pilipinas ng more than a year, na-abandon, may presumption na abandonment ang kanilang green card at hindi sila makabalik. Mm-hmm. So at the term it connotes para ito sa mga bumabalik at babalik sa Amerika as a lawful permanent resident.
How long, Attorney, usually ang tinatanong sa atin, gaano kahaba yung kanilang in-overstay sa labas?
Yeah, para ma-abandon na po ang inyong green card, kayo po nag-stay doon ng over a year na walang re-entry permit. Kasi yung re-entry permit, i-remind natin yung mga kababayan natin para sa mga green card holder ito na gusto nilang bumalik sa home country nila para tapusin ang hindi natapos, kagaya halimbawa ng pag-aaral or i-wind up yung business or ibenta mga properties para dito na sila sa US tumira. So,
o kaya may girlfriend.
May girlfriend na pakakasalan or may anak na susuportahan or palalakin pa muna doon habang hinihintay ang kanilang mga petition. Pwede rin yan because these are real life situations. So kung wala po kayong re-entry permit na valid for 2 years, then at nag-stay po kayo sa Pilipinas, mahirap na po kayo makabalik dito sa Amerika. So yung purpose natin ngayon, ang pag-usapan natin is paano po kayo makabalik na wala pong mga issues.
paano po ba, attorney, ang application process nito? Ito ba ina-apply before you actually leave the US?
Yes, we suggest, Kuya Yo, na at least 3 months ang application process nito, ano, para po mapaghandaan kung ano yung mga dokumento. Kasi lalong-lalo na ngayong pandemic, mahirap po makakuha ng appointment. Oo, sa embassy dahil, lalo na ang Pilipinas ngayon na nag-spike na naman ang number of COVID cases.
Correct.
Right? At sila po yung naglilimit ng mga interview appointments sa US Embassy in Manila.
Ano po, attorney, ang una nilang kailangan ihanda pagka kailangan nilang mag-file ng SB1?
Yes, pag kayo po ay nakita ninyo na kayo 1 year na po doon, it's also a good idea to consult an immigration attorney para malaman kung ano yung mga paghahandaan. Kasi yung iba, sometimes they listen to other advice na, green card holder ka pa, valid pa yung green card mo, gamitin mo yan. But I always remind mga kababayan natin na nag-stay po kayo ng 1 year dyan at wala po kayong returning resident or re-entry permit, automatic abandon ang green card nyo. And even if your green card is still valid, right, at gagamitin mo yan, mahirap yung kuya yun at tatawagin ka sa, di ba, doon sa airlines, doon sa, halimbawa mayroon ka ng flight, at sasabihin sa'yo na hindi ka matutuloy dahil, abandon na yung green card. So, I always remind mga kababayan natin that mayroong agreement ang most airline companies kasama ang PAL, yung Philippine Airlines, at ang Embassy or Department of State, yung flight manifesto, where, they submit a list of passengers, right, before they fly, right, into the US. And siyempre, ang embassy naman would look at those people kung anong visa category nila. Di ba? Sometimes, tatawagin ka lang last minute ng airline companies that, Juan de la Cruz, come to the front and, sasabihin sa'yo na you cannot fly today. So, there are many situations are like that. So, makikita nila na yung last entry mo nag-overstay ka, you need to get the returning resident. So ayaw natin na mapahamak at mapunta sa kahihiyan yung kababayan natin na hindi matutuloy ang flight. So the best thing of course is to prepare for that returning resident visa. And of course, consulting an attorney and preparing, documenting yung ties mo sa Amerika. So in other words, siyempre kailangan mo yung green card, right? O kung meron po kayong expired re-entry permit, i-prepare po lahat yan. And also titingnan ninyo yung strong ties nyo sa Amerika kasi you're a lawful permanent resident of the United States.
Baliktad na ngayon.
Correct. Tama, Kuya Yo.
Dati strong ties sa Pilipinas ang pinuprove mo. Ngayon, sa Amerika na.
Correct. That one. Pangalawa, overstay ka sa Pilipinas. Di ba? So kung nag-overstay ka sa Amerika, sa Pilipinas, nag-overstay ka doon naman. So in order for you to come back sa Amerika is you have to prove that strong ties. Di ba? Let's say, pwede mong sabihin may bahay ako sa Las Vegas, right? Meron akong apartment doon na may lease contract ako na will expire, in 4 more years kasi 5 years yung kinuha mo halimbawa or 1 year. And then may mga anak ka dito nag-aaral, may magulang ka dito, may trabaho ka dito, may business ka dito. So you have to prove and you have to document all those ties and also bank account statements. So yung mga documents na yon are very, very important to show that you have not abandoned your green card intentionally.
Aha, okay. So guys, pakinggan nyo po ito kasi ang iba sa atin ay basta na lang uuwi sa Pilipinas at nag-e-enjoy. Pagdating sa Pilipinas, napakasarap ng you go to Palawan, punta kayo ng Boracay, nakakalimutan na more than a year na pala. Attorney, so who qualifies for this returning visa? Lahat po ba na lawful permanent resident magko-qualify na mag-apply nito?
Yes, Kuya Yo. All lawful permanent residents or green card holders who stayed outside the US, right, or sa Pilipinas for over a year are qualified. And pangalawa dyan, ang kanilang intention to stay outside the US is temporary. Yun ang plano nila. Right? Temporary lang, hindi yung plinano mo na, titira ka na sa Pilipinas. So temporary in a sense that you need to prove also na may return ticket ako, right? 3 months lang dapat ang bakasyon ko sa Pilipinas.
Right.
Or 6 months lang, naabutan ako ng lockdown. Right? Yeah. And then, tumawag ako sa airline companies or I emailed them or rebook the flight. Silang nag-cancel. Ito ang proof na kinancel nila ang flight. And I did try to rebook the flight in September pero kinancel pa rin nila. Kumbaga, you didn't really have the intent to stay there that long. Kaya lang napahaba dahil sa situations or circumstances beyond the control ng lawful permanent resident. Right? And pangatlo, Kuya, as we mentioned, yung ties sa Amerika. So i-document po lahat yan. May driver's license ka ba, di ba? Sa Amerika may trabaho ka ba, may business ka ba? So those are very good proof na hindi mo inabandon ang green card. Of course, yun ang mga paraan, no? At may bayad din yan. May bayad dyan na 180 para ma-determine ng returning resident visa po kayo. And then you come in prepared with all this documentation. And if the consular officer, Kuya Yo, would determine na, eligible ka for returning resident, ang masaklap nito is babalik ka dun sa visa application. Right? So you have to pay, you have to prepare for the DS-260 again and provide yung civil documentation. Right? Yung i-update mo yung NBI clearance, right? Wala kang criminal records, and you undergo the same interview para sa immigrant visa para ma-eligible ka ng immigrant. Kaya double step ito, two steps to Kuya Yo. So you have to apply for the SB returning resident, and once you're determined na you're eligible, then you have to undergo the immigrant visa application again. So hindi lang basta-basta ito, mga kababayan, na mag-apply ako ng returning resident, okay na, green card ulit ako. The answer is no, you have to undergo the same process as you underwent when you applied for an immigrant visa.
Wow. So guys, be careful. Kaya napag-usapan niya namin ni attorney that your reason for being in the Philippines must be something na talagang kailangan, hindi yung nandun ka lang. Pero attorney, at this point na lockdown nga sa Pilipinas, tumataas na naman ang kaso ng COVID-19. If you are there, is it doon ka mag-a-apply? Open ba ang embassy natin ngayon doon para makapag-apply ka?
Well, there's a good news and not so good news, Kuya Yo. In fact, President Biden lifted yung suspension of the entry of immigrants into the US recently, di ba? So, if you recall, nung panahon ni Donald Trump, as early as March or April yata, sinuspend yun ng entry of immigrants for 60 days. And then extend until the end of December, no? December 31. And then extend nila until March 31. So before March 31, nilift ni President Biden ang entry of immigrants and non-immigrants. Which is pag-usapan natin mamaya yung mga yung mga kondisyones para po mapatawag kayo ng interview. Kasi kahit bukas na po, kahit na lift na po ang suspension ng entry of immigrants into the US, ang mga embassies worldwide naman, they are following local laws. Halimbawa, Philippine laws where they require yung quarantine. So, very limited pa rin ang in-person appearances or interviews. So, ang not so good news sa mga kababayan natin na nasa Pilipinas ng over 1 year na, hindi pa sila nakakapag-apply ng returning resident. So, what we recommend sa mga kababayan natin, na we have plenty of clients already, Kuya Yo, who hired our services to prepare their returning resident visa applications. When we already prepared the packet and we wrote a letter to the embassy and we emailed them and we bagged them like, this is our client and we want an interview. Despite the fact that ang kanilang advisory is wala pa, right? Wala pang interview for returning resident. But in good faith, as part of the process na sabi mo hindi ko inabandon yung aking green card, look, I hired an attorney to process this application as early as this one, di ba? Para i-show in good faith that you really did not abandon the green card. So mga kababayan natin na nandyan ng mga more than 1 year na, right? At magto 2 years, magto 3 years niya, make sure that you already document, no? Or watch out when the embassy reopens so that you can apply. Nasa first in line na po kayo na mag-apply, or mag-email na rin po kayo, or pwede nyo email out yung application to show in the future na kung kailan mag-reopen ang embassy for returning resident, you can show good faith that you have been bagging and applying, to come back to the United States.
And I'm sure yung ating mga kababayan na nasa ganyang sitwasyon ay talaga namang, of course, they are worried. Worried na sila kung anong mangyayari sa kanila. But as attorney said, mga kababayan, as long as in good faith, pinapakita nyo na talagang hindi nyo ina-abandon ang inyong green card, you will probably get a chance to be interviewed pag nagbukas na po ang ating embassy.
Correct, Kuya Yo. At wag baliwalain yan dahil mahirap po ang makabalik dito as a green card holder. Lalo po kayo naghintay ng 25 years, di ba, para ma-petition ang inyong makarating po dito as a green card holder. And another situation, Kuya Yo, is yung isang client natin doon is yung we mentioned kanina na he used to come here before 6 months or before 1 year para hindi ma-abandon. From time to time, yun ang ginagawa niya for the last several years. Kaya lang with the pandemic, di ba, na close yan, hindi siya makabalik kaagad and beyond his control. And the sad reality there, there was that pinetition yung asawa niya at mga minor children at hinihintay na sana, pag ma-interview yung pamilya, right, at makakuha ng green card or visa, sabay-sabay na lang pumunta dito. So that's a situation where if you abandon your green card, yung petition po ninyo sa inyong pamilya ay wala na rin kung hindi po kayo makakuha ng approval ng returning resident visa.
Nako. So, talagang nakatutok po kayo mga kaibigan. As you said, attorney, i-document yung mga ginagawa nyo to prove that you're not abandoning your legal permanent status. And one thing is that probably you still, yung mga ties nga dito sa Amerika, like for example, you're in school, or yun nga, yung lease contract with your apartment, or you have a mortgage or something. So, yung po ba, attorney, mga ganon, when finally you are called for an interview in Manila, or if you're in other parts of the world, paano kung wala sa'yo yung mga documents na yun at naiwan mo dito sa Amerika? Yung lease contract mo nandito. Paano po yun?
Yeah, that's a good situation, Kuya. One of our clients are exactly in the similar situation. So what he did is contact yung mga directly yung mga offices like Bank of America.
Okay. Yung landlord niya.
Landlord niya. Paki-email sa akin yung lease contract. Yung property tax niya, he went online and print out yung payment ng property tax or yung tawag nito yung mga monthly bills din niya. So wala kasi nandito, walang tao sa bahay niya, may bahay siya dito, but yung mga bills nasa mail lang niya or sa kamag-anak niya, pinadala na lang sa kanya. So that's another situation where you need to contact directly kung yung mga document na yon, like you mentioned, yung mga bank o mga landlord, yung mga insurance companies or your relatives to email or fax it to you. Para madala sa interview.
Well, as you said, attorney, this will be like applying for the visa, parang yung right from the first time. So kailangan ba mag-aano ka dito yung mga medical exam, yung mga ganyan?
Correct, Kuya. So it's a two-step process. So i-determine muna ng consular officer that you're eligible for returning resident visa. But in order for them to reissue yung visa mo, you undergo the same procedure that where you have to submit again yung immigrant visa application, submit yung mga civil documentation. Part of that would be your birth certificate, NBI clearance, and of course yung medical examination to make sure that you are not inadmissible based on health grounds. So masaklap yung kuya kung sputum test ka na naman, right? Or
simula na naman. So attorney, correct me if I'm wrong. Despite na meron ka ng green card, now itong returning resident visa, itatatak uli ito sa passport mo, ano?
Correct. Itatatak sa passport mo or issue ka ng visa. Tama, yung para nakukuha mo ulit dyan pag nakukuha ng first time na visa. Yes.
Okay, so hindi lang mga kababayan na yung nakaugalian nyo na you're just going to flash your green card sa airport pagpasok nyo. Ito pala kailangan nyo na uli na yung ipapakita yung visa. Yung para bang yung mga unang visa noon before you got your legal permanent resident status. Nako, so talagang your reason to be there outside of the country has to be really be something na gusto nyong gawin. Attorney, ito po bang you're staying outside of the US? Of course, we're thinking na nasa Pilipinas. What if nasa Canada lang siya or somewhere and may relative? Ganon din. That applies the same situation. Isang taon din, ganyan. Kailangan niya rin mag-returning visa?
Correct, Kuya Yo. As long as the totality ng number of years or days mo outside the US is more than a year, right? Kahit halimbawa 6 months ka sa Pilipinas, 6 months ka sa Canada, 6 months ka sa Europe, so 1.5 year na yun. You need, since more than 1 year na yung outside of the US ng aplikante, then that applicant needs to apply for a returning resident visa. The other question is saan siya mag-a-apply, right? So, kung saan siya abutan.
Kung saan siya.
Exactly. But the thing here is that applicants are only entertained to be interviewed, right, at the embassies where the applicant has a legal status. Meaning, so halimbawa, nasa Canada po kayo, either mayroon kayong working visa doon or a green card holder din po kayo ng Canada, right? So, hindi pwede yung tago rin po kayo sa ibang country, hindi po kayo makakuha ng appointment interviews doon sa embassy kung wala po kayong status.
Okay, we just encountered a similar situation, attorney. Isang tita natin na meron siyang anak sa 3 countries. yun nga, Canada, mayroon siyang anak sa Singapore, meron ding anak sa, I don't remember,
UK.
UK yata or something like that. So ngayon, of course, tayo mga Pilipino, we're so close to our lola. So ngayon, umiikot ngayon sila. Pero green card holder sila dito sa US. Ngayon, so pupunta sila ngayon ng ilang buwan dun sa Singapore, nandun yung bago sila apo sa Singapore. So ganun po pa. So since wala naman silang status sa Singapore, nandun lang naman sila, paano ba sila nakakapasok doon? Visitor lang. So, saan sila nga mag-a-apply? Sa Pilipinas?
Yes, sa Pilipinas po sila kung wala silang legal status. If you're only a visitor sa other countries, either Canada or Singapore or UK, right? So, very limited yung status mo doon. So, bibigyan ka lang ng 3 months or 6 months by the time na makatawag ka ng interview, especially at this worldwide pandemic, baka wala ka ng status. Oo. So, and plus also, they do recommend na dapat may kind of legal status na hindi lang temporary as a visitor.
Right.
Either ano po kayo, working visa that would last mga more than 2 years, or as a green card holder kayo on that country, which means like you're a permanent resident of that country.
Alright, tita, kung nasaan po kayo ngayon, hindi na namin alam kung nasaan na kayo ngayon, you will have to do that application back in the Philippines dahil po kayo ay green card.
Advice natin kay Tita Kuya Yo is that pagbalik niya sa America is to apply for entry, because you can't go wrong. 2 years is it's a very lengthy amount of time na nasa outside ka ng US. Right? So yung re-entry kasi na yan, pagdating mo dito halimbawa sa Amerika, right, mag-apply ka kagad ng re-entry permit and undergo the fingerprints siguro within 3 to 6 weeks. Or pwede mo expedite na, can you do my fingerprints? And then you can leave. And then pag na-issue yung re-entry po nila, 2 taon yan, Kuya Yo. Right? So wala yung kaba mo na mag-expire na.
Aabutan ka kung saan.
Aabutan kung saan. Or if you feel like coming back na wala pang 2 taon, free naman po silang bumalik anytime. So even if 2 years yung kanilang re-entry, pagbalik dito halimbawa after 11 months, with the re-entry, if-flash mo yung re-entry ko, hindi ka questionin right? So kung wala kang re-entry, right, at 11 months ka doon, magkakaroon ka ng either secondary inspection at tatanungin lahat kung anong ginagawa mo dyan, and you don't want that situation na ilagay ka sa immigration court and charge you for abandonment.
Wow. Okay. So maraming naalinaw mga kababayan. As I told you, it's an exciting conversation ngayon mga kaibigan, and it applies to a lot of our kababayans na mga umiikot ngayon at medyo yung ibang lugar ay medyo napupuntahan na. So itong ating mga tita, mga tito umiikot sa kanilang mga apo na miss na nila. So ito po is a very valuable information na sinasabi ni Attorney. Kanina Attorney, nabanggit nyo yung ipadala lang ang inyong mga documents, if you in the Philippines, padala yung mga documents. How do you even without an appointment or something, you can send your documents by mail po ba yun?
We as a sign of good faith and showing to the embassy that you did not abandon the green card is you take some steps. Diba? Show them that, like, look, I was trying to set an appointment. Hindi naman kayo nagbubukas kahit nilift na ni Biden yung entry ng immigrants, wala naman kayong appointment notices, hindi kami makareach sa iyo. At least you can show them that, look at this on this date, and nag-email po kami that we want an interview. We sent you a letter, ito yung confirmation. So we don't expect that they will respond right away. We're hoping that they would, right? But with the limit resources and restriction ng Philippine government, their hands are tight as well. So hindi din kayo mapatawag. So those are some proof in the future. Let's say mapatawag ka 5 months down the road. By that time, nakadalawang taong ka na, 2.5 years na, and the embassy might look at your case, dalawang taong ka na, right? Wala ka action. So pwede mo sabihin na, wala pang 2 taon, wala, isang taon ko pa lang, I already exerted these efforts by providing your documents.
So kailangan may resibo ka nung mga you mailed something to the embassy, something like that, or you consulted a lawyer. And talking about that mga kabigan, if you're in the Philippines, may office po ang Reeves Immigration Law Group dyan po sa Pilipinas. Why don't we give at this point, Attorney, information regarding the Reeves Immigration Law Group office sa Makati po, Attorney?
Yes, speaking of our staff in Makati office, they are really very busy at this time of the year, then calling the embassy and finding out when are you going to reopen, when our clients would receive the interview appointments. So they are very aggressive in following ups para malaman din natin, because simply calling them will not give us solutions. Minsan hindi na sinasagot yung phone, or even emailing them, so also looking at their website, hindi rin very useful yun, dahil minsan iba yung sinasabi ng website sa iba sa sitwasyon. So i-update natin sila mamaya kung ano yung mga pinaprioritize ng embassy para naman magkaroon ng idea ang ating mga kababayan. So ang Reeves Immigration Law Group po is more than 40 years na po kami in immigration service. We cater all kinds of immigration, family, kagaya ng mga Pilipino na we try to reunite them here in the US. We also do employment-based cases. Malapit na rin ang H-1B applications. Malapit na po ang April 15.
All right.
Right? L1, E2 sa pag-usapan natin last time. Also, removal defense. Kung kayo po on the brink of removal, even if Biden said that, we're not deporting people right now, there are also situations where, we want your case, if you are already in removal proceedings, to move forward para po matapos na po ang inyong kalbaryo at makuha na po ninyo pinakakaintay yung green card. So, full-blown immigration service po tayo, 100% po, and we specialize in the practice of immigration only. Aside from the Makati office po, where we assist yung mga kababayan natin sa Pilipinas, para i-document yung kanilang mga cases, yung mga packets, calling interviews. We also have office in San Francisco, where I am based, and Los Angeles in Pasadena area, and also one in China. So you can contact us at the phone number 415-568-3777, and you'll be speaking with an immigration specialist to assess and evaluate po yung immigration cases.
And you still have free consultation at this point, attorney?
Correct, Kuya. We are contemplating of charging at this time now, but with the pandemic still going on, and we're hoping that with the Biden's immigration policy, we'll get more clients. So, still free. Take advantage po kayo.
Okay, wonderful. So, attorney, at this point, we'll head over to a break. We'll remind our friends on how to contact you. Ang Reeves Immigration Law Group, mga kaibigan, ang major sponsor ng ating Immigration Law on Your Side right here at PHLV Radio. So, dyan lamang po kayo. Magbabalik po kami ni Attorney Diza dito po sa Immigration Law on Your Side.
Reeves Immigration Law Group has been representing immigrants for nearly 40 years. Reeves Immigration Law Group has been fighting for its clients through experience and expertise. With immigration lawyers you can access at reasonable fees even on Saturday. Payment plans are also available. Call us for your immigration solutions. We can do worldwide telephone and Skype consultations. Reeves Immigration Law Group, 1-800-795-8009. Reeves Immigration Law Group has offices in Los Angeles, San Francisco, China, and Philippines. See us at www.rreeves.com. Reeves Immigration Law Group, 1-800-795-8009.
Mga kaibigan, nagbabalik po ang Immigration Law on Your Side right here at PHLV Radio. We're on different platforms every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Pacific Time. Pero magandang umaga po dyan sa Pilipinas. Thank you so much for tuning in. And for those who are watching us or listening to us on our podcast platforms, our on-demand platforms, welcome po sa Immigration Law on Your Side. And the information and mga updates na mapapakinggan nyo dito sa PHLV Radio on this program, they are current as of March 24th, Wednesday, mga kaibigan, ngayon na gabi dito po sa Amerika. Nandito po kami ni Attorney Diza. Once again, nandito si Attorney Diza dito po sa PHLV Radio sa Las Vegas. And we're excited to be traveling again, and that's why we're talking about this returning resident visa. Ito, mga kaibigan, ang topic natin ngayon. If you are tuning in late, maganda po na pag-usapan namin ni Attorney regarding this SB1. So, mangyari lang po na balikan po ang portion na yan after this episode. So, Attorney, I'm sure maraming mga updates ngayon in terms of sa embassy, yung mga interviews, kung ano nang nangyayari with the development nung COVID-19, may mga bakuna na and everything. Can you fill us in, Attorney, kung ano po yung mga updates na ngayon sa ating mga embassies, mga interviews, and all the applications?
Yes, kung natatandaan po nating mga kababayan, there was a suspension of entry of immigrants due to the global pandemic by President Trump as early as April. And also even without the proclamation Kuya Yo, the embassy, limited its capacity para sa mga interviews. So baka, hindi naman sila nagpapatawag ng interview, and believe me, as early as February last year, wala pa yung proclamation Kuya Yo. With the global pandemic, nag-suspend na ang embassy ng interviews. In fact, yung mga client natin na nakakuha ng interview as early as February, kinancel. Right? Automatic cancel po yan. So, yung mga sitwasyon na ganyan na may mga interview appointments na o na-interview na sila Kuya Yo, and they were required to submit some documentation, right? Tapos hindi pa rin na-issue ang visa dahil nagkaroon naman ng suspension. So, the embassy sent us notice, as immigration attorneys, in response to our inquiries. They were saying na although nilift na ni Biden ang suspension ng entry of immigrants na pwede na hintayin yung mga interviews, nililimit pa rin nila Kuya Yo ang mga in-person interviews due to sitwasyon sa Pilipinas. At as we mentioned kanina, nag-spike pa rin, and mag-ingat po tayo dyan sa Pilipinas at observe pa rin natin yung mga guidelines para bumaba na po ang cases natin. But going back to that interview, ang mga priority nila is number one, yung mga napatawag ng interview dati. So kung kayo po ay napatawag ng interview ng February, March, at dahil sa pandemic na-suspend or na-cancel po ang interview ninyo, right, pwede nyo pong i-request ulit ang embassy na can you set me another interview? Kung hindi po kayo pinapatawag ng embassy. So you need to take extra steps para pumatawag kayo ng interview. Yun unang-una yan. Pangalawa na priority nila Kuya Yo ay yung mga asawa ng US citizen. Kasi even the spouses of US citizen and mga minor children of US citizen, Kuya Yo, exempted sila dun sa proclamation ni President Trump, di ba?
Right.
So, as of now, sila rin ang mga priority ng ating embassy. Or yung mga client na mag-age out, yung magte-turn 21. And I have a success story, Kuya Yo, where the client before she turned 21, this month I think, na dumating siya ng February 18. And we thought that mag-age out siya at maghintay siya ng another 15 years, 10 to 15 years. But we were fortunate enough to push for the interview despite the pandemic. Nakakuha po siya ng interview noong February, and then na-issue siya kaagad ng visa. She had her pre-departure orientation seminar and stuff like that, and was able to enter February 18 before she turned 21. So hindi po lose hope na hindi naman nagpapatawag na interview and just let it go. You need to have someone else o kayo mismo to proactively, ask the embassy to schedule you an interview already. Or another scenario na pwede po kayo mag-request is that the petitioner is ailing or have some medical condition, right, na kailangan po kayo dito, pwede rin po ninyong i-request yan, hoping that the embassy would schedule you an interview. So yung mga kababayan natin, alam ko marami po sa atin, hundreds of thousands worldwide, I think, ang naghihintay ang kanilang interview, lalo ng mga preference category, Kuya Yo, where ang waiting time natin is from 10 to 25 years, at naghintay po kayo at sasabihin nyo wala pang interview. Keep on looking at the website ng embassy, or consulting an attorney, kasi sometimes they don't update their website. So as attorneys have first-hand knowledge kung ano nangyayari sa embassy because they respond to our inquiries. At ang masaklap dyan, Kuya Yo, a lot of clients that I had consultation recently where the embassy terminated their application. Right? Sasabihin nila na hindi mo inaksyonan to ng 1 year na. So when I asked client, they said that, merong interview appointment siya ng February pero they canceled it, right? Kompleto na yung medical and everything. Siyempre na-cancel, wala na communication. Marso na ngayon, where the embassy would, I don't know kung go automatic generate ang system nila na walang action for 1 year. Kasi kung inactive po yung case nyo, yung application nyo for a year, di ba, they would say na, notify kami na ikakancel na namin yung application, we're going to terminate that, right? Terminate your application for inaction. So, hindi lang isa, hindi lang dadalawa, more than 10 siguro ang tumawag sa akin na mayroon silang nakuhang ganyan, which the embassy also, Kuya Yo, gave an advisory where they said that pag nakita nyo sa system ng embassy or sa NVC, pag nag-login po kayo sa inyong case at nakita nyo terminate now or about to be terminated, right, you need to email them ang embassy, right? Email them or mail out the documents that you took extra steps that you are still interested in pursuing your visa applications para mapatunayan nyo na hindi po kayo nagkulang sa pag-follow up, right? And alam naman natin lahat with the pandemic na wala talaga interviews and sometimes yung system lang siguro ng embassy na nag-generate ng ganung update. So be careful and be mindful. Watch out yung mga notices ng embassy. Don't ignore them. Make sure to address them and consult an immigration attorney how to overcome those findings.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Wealth of information mga kaibigan ngayong gabi dito po sa Immigration Law on your side. And kung meron po kayong mga tanong, make sure you just comment them. Isulat po sa ating comment box below. And even after the show, just itag nyo po si Attorney Diza or kami dito sa PHLV Radio and we will send your questions to Attorney Diza para sa mga updates or mga kasagutan po ni Attorney Diza. Attorney, ano pang iba pang updates po, Attorney, regarding sa dito sa mga application sa USCIS, yung mga meron kami mga kaibigan mag-oath taking na daw sila, so it's nice na naririnig namin na meron ng ganyan ulit, although they were telling us na sayang yung family namin hindi makakapasok. Paano yung mga balloons, yung mga ganyan. So walk us through, Attorney, kung ano yung sitwasyon ngayon sa loob ng USCIS.
Yes, ang USCIS are conducting interviews now, pero they also prioritize yung mga applicants for citizenship or naturalization. Mm-hmm. In fact, I have 2 cases here in Las Vegas today, right? One in the morning and one later in the afternoon, where applicants got the interview appointments.
Wow.
The good thing about the N400 applicants, Kuya Yo, ay meron na silang interviews, ni kagaya ng green card application where nasa line pa sila to get interviews. But cases like N400 applications, as you mentioned, yes, medyo mabilis sila ngayon, and hoping that we get more US citizens, right? Once they get the approval, some jurisdictions like San Francisco, for example, especially during the middle of the pandemic last year, where after the interview they conduct the oath taking right away.
Wow.
So right away, like few hours, kasi limited yung kanilang audience or limited yung kanilang applicants, so they conduct siguro mga 10 to 15, right, instead of like in the past where tama ka, where they conduct in a very big venue. Right? Thousands, like when I took my oath taking years back, where there are thousands of people taking the oath, and lahat ng family are there to support you and wave the American flag, right? As you mentioned, the balloons and the cakes are ready, right? But and also like and then kung natatandaan mo, i-announce lahat yung mga countries, right? From A to Z na mga countries. Or Philippines, lahat tayong papalakpak. So makikita mo talaga kung sinong pinakamadaming mga nag-oath. And I think Pilipinas is sa pinakamadami sa Bay Area. Next to probably China, Mexico, and India. We are probably number 3 and 4. But anyway, yes, tama ka doon na very limited po ang mga participants. And then that's a good thing. At least kahit paano lumalakad po ang mga applications at natatapos na mga oath-taking ceremonies. But you can always celebrate at home, right? With your family.
By Zoom.
By Zoom with other family members outside of the city. Pwede rin po yan, Kuya Yo. So that's really good news for mga applicants ng N400. The other good news, Kuya Yo, yung public charge rule was officially out, right? Where they require in the past to show that not only the petitioner was able to support the beneficiary by submitting the affidavit support, but to make sure that the applicant is self-sufficient. Meaning may additional form, which is like more than 20 pages, additional documentation like voluminous documents showing your credit score, wala kang utang, or ano pa ba, hindi ka nag-claim ng public charge for the last 24 months, yung mga ganon na, if you're going to submit, the green card application will take you extra time and efforts to prepare that. So finally, the Biden administration terminated that policy. Hindi na yun nire-require, which is very
Wow.
good news sa mga applicants ng green card here and abroad. And if you remember din sa mga nag-a-apply sa Pilipinas during President Trump's administration, where they require the petitioner to purchase a health insurance bago makarating anak mo dito or mga 5 apo mo. So medyo mabigat din sa petitioner yan. But now this public charge rule are gone. Forever, hopefully.
Okay. All right. So mga kaibigan, manatili pong nakatutok sa Facebook page or website ng ating mga kaibigan sa Reeves Immigration Law Group. And we're giving you updates here at Immigration Law on your side. Pero po ang inyong mga kaibigan sa Reeves Immigration Law Group ay mabilis at nandyan kaagad ang mga updates sa kanilang web page and sa kanilang mga social media pages. So mag-subscribe na po and i-like na po, i-follow ang Reeves Immigration Law Group on my Instagram, my Facebook, and then yung kay Attorney Flomy Diza na FJ Diza US Immigration Attorney. So Attorney, ano pa po ba ang iba pang mga exciting updates natin ngayon sa immigration? What's going on? We're into like how many days na ng ating bagong Pangulo? What's going on, Attorney?
Yes, we are still hoping that the comprehensive immigration reform that the Biden administration proposed would push through. In fact, some of the proposals meron ng congressional action.
Okay.
Yung sa Dream Act and Promise Act of 2021, right? Itong expand nila yung DACA, where hindi lang yung mga dumating dito before 2007 pero dumating dito before 2021 at the age of 18 or before the age of 18. Ito yung proposal ng House of Representatives. It has been passed, Kuya Yo. We're just waiting for the Senate to act on it.
Okay.
As we mentioned, hopefully there's no filibuster. Isang Democrat lang kasi, Kuya Yo, na mag-no doon sa proposal. It may not pass. So, but we are pushing for that. A lot of immigration attorneys and members of the American Immigration Lawyers Association are lobbying for the passage of the Dream and Promise Act of 2021 and the Agricultural Worker Act as well. For other comprehensive immigration reform, mag-watch out pa rin tayo. As we mentioned, we are hopeful that this administration will do something good para sa mga almost 12 million undocumented, overstay, out of status natin mga kababayan, mapa-Pilipino man or Mexican or other nationalities. We look forward that something good will happen during this administration.
Mga kababayan, as you know, there are a lot of news and mga updates regarding immigration. You see that in the news every day. So, abangan po dito sa Immigration Law on your side. Even in between episodes, we will fill you in with some updates on our pages. So, Attorney, again, maraming salamat po, Attorney. Unless you still have other things to discuss regarding our topic. Papasalamat na ako sa inyo, Attorney, sa inyong paglipad galing sa San Francisco at nandito kayo ngayon sa Las Vegas, Nevada. At nakikita nyo naman, medyo bumabalik na ang sigla dito sa Las Vegas. Konti-konti, dahan-dahan, but we're getting there hopefully, and then we hope that we'll have you again here soon, Attorney.
Maraming salamat Kuya Yo and PHLV Radio for always having me and to give public service sa ating mga kababayan with regard to immigration at paunting announcement at paalala sa ating mga kababayan. Then do your part, whether your position on vaccination would, we still strongly recommend, of course, that you guys would take your vaccination when it's your time, right? Para po mabalik na po tayo sa normal at marami po sa atin ang gustong-gusto na pong magbakasyon. In fact, ngayon pag-fly ko sa Vegas ko it's more of business pa rin. It's for work, right? It's not something for pleasure na maglalaro sa casino o magsuswimming sa pupunta sa mga national parks dito sa Las Vegas. But hopefully, babalik na tayo sa normal and we'll take a vacation for ourselves. Deserve po natin lahat yan at with our family as well. So again, maraming salamat. It's great to be back here, returning resident immigration updates dito po sa programa ng Immigration Law on your side and PHLV Radio. Marami pong salamat at patuloy po natin tangkilikin ang programa ng PHLV Radio at Immigration Law on your side.
Nako, attorney, thank you so much. And we hope that we're going to have you again here soon sa PHLV Radio Studio. And malay mo kami naman ang pumasyal sa San Francisco area. At nagpapasalamat din ako sa pasalubong ni attorney, Golden State Warriors. Sa inyo, mga kaibigan. Ayan.
Yes, hopefully babalik sila ang sigla ng Golden State Warriors bago yung kanilang sa Chase Center na sila, di ba? So it's really a nice place but hopefully makapanood na rin tayo soon. At maraming salamat din Kuya Yo sa bigay mo PHLV Radio. Ilang taon na ba tayo?
We're going on our third year. Yes. Wow.
Time flies. Yeah. And glad to be one of the pioneers here at PHLV Radio and still here. So maraming salamat Kuya Yo for having me. So
maraming salamat, attorney. On behalf of PHLV Radio, maraming salamat po Reeves Immigration Law Group, lahat po ng mga attorneys, lahat ng staff ng Reeves Immigration Law Group. And we're going to show you again on the screen yung mga contact information. And balikan lamang po ang episode na ito kung na-miss nyo at kung medyo late kayong pumasok sa ating broadcast ngayon, balikan lamang po ang aming pinag-usapan ngayon ay ang returning resident visa at iba pang mga updates dito po sa Immigration Law on Your Side. So nagagaling po dito sa Las Vegas, kaming dalawa ni Attorney Diza at pareho po kami ngayong nandito sa studio. Wala po kami sa Zoom ngayon. Isang taon din tayong nag-Zoom, Attorney. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, from Las Vegas, hindi ko na sasabihin from San Francisco. From Las Vegas, ito po ang Immigration Law on Your Side. We will see you next time. Take care and be safe.
Reeves Immigration Law Group has been representing immigrants for nearly 40 years. Reeves Immigration Law Group has been fighting for its clients through experience and expertise. With immigration lawyers you can access at reasonable fees, even on Saturday. Payment plans are also available. Call us for your immigration solutions. We can do worldwide telephone and Skype consultations. Reeves Immigration Law Group, 1-800-795-8009. Reeves Immigration Law Group has offices in Los Angeles, San Francisco, China, and Philippines. See us at www.rreeves.com. Reeves Immigration Law Group, 1-800-795-8009.
Reeves Immigration Law Group has just brought you Immigration Law on Your Side. Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Pacific on PHLV Radio. This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.